Welcome and thank you for joining me on this podcast. And I would like you to introduce yourself and what you do, and then we jump into the amazing topic that we're going to talk about today.
Yes, amazing. Thank you, Say, for having me here. It's really an honor to be able to speak with you and actually get to know you better as well on this podcast. So, yeah, I am half Italian, half Austrian, live here in Dubai for the past 6 years, and I've always been into the whole health and wellness realm, and specifically in the last 3-4 years, I digged deeper into the whole study of longevity. It's a topic that is very dear to me. I have personally struggled with different health conditions, myself, my family as well. So it's a bit of a passion and a need at the same time, to try to understand different ways of improving my health. And I've seen that especially digging into the holistic aspect and approach of how we can, improve our health and our lifestyle by looking into the whole aspect of epigenetics. So what we can do with our own nutrition, exercise, lifestyle, mindset is the best way to really support our health. So yeah, I've been consulting companies for the past 6 years, especially into the longevity industry for their marketing and social media needs. But at the same time, I've had my own personal clients, supporting them into nutrition specifically. And then funny enough, we came into contact through the project that now I'm also supporting, and that I'm very, very happy to have you on board.
Thank you very much. I mean, I appreciate you and Jennifer, and sorry that Jennifer is not able to join us today. It's a bit unfortunate. We would have loved her to be here. But you mentioned something regarding your own story.
Yeah.
Could you tell me a little bit of the details here?
Okay.
Like why you shifted here? You said there's a story behind it. I would like to know if it's not personal.
How many hours do we have?
We have the whole time here. Don't worry.
Okay. Well, starting from myself specifically, I started struggling with some chronic conditions from around the year that I moved here to Dubai. And one of them is mainly related to personal trauma that I have lived in my life. So it's a bit of a stored emotion, chronic hip pain flexor that I started developing back then. And then the biggest trigger for me to make me launch actually my venture that I forgot to mention you about, which is the healthy snack company, Bey Treats. That started from me being diagnosed with Crohn's disease, which again is a bit of a diagnosis that I was maybe not really happy with. I was not really also sure that that was the final diagnosis, because it took the doctors so much time to really pinpoint that as a definition. But yeah, that was the diagnosis that I got back in 2020. And it started with severe pain in the side of my trunk, and then seeing blood in the stool and several conditions. So it was very, very painful back then, but it took a lot of time, like over a year, to really get a proper picture of it. So that was the time where I started digging even more into nutrition, digging also more into the whole aspect of supplements. So that made me become very nerd, let's say, when it comes to supplements, because
more into the scientific aspect of it.
Yes, exactly. And so I started self-testing on myself because the medications were not really working back then. And I saw that let's say let's sum it up, were the biggest changes that really worked in my diet. And again, I was always a healthy person, but few adjustments really made a difference. One of them was that of cutting completely on sugars and carbs. Like I see your face. I know you're happy that I'm saying that.
Now I like you even more.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the second one was adding collagen into my daily routine. And fun enough, initially I was not even that aware. Like I was self-testing with other supplements as well. But that was the biggest change that I started seeing. And I took it initially just as a more for aesthetical reasons than actually,
Health
to want to heal my gut. But that is what gave me the biggest changes and shifts. I started noticing it from my skin. I used to have severe acne all over my face, and I still have some acne scars and stuff, but now I think I look a bit much better than back then. And it started fixing all my digestive issues. And again, it's something that now I've been taking like as a daily staple of my diet on a daily basis.
So you take it as supplement, or you take it from natural sources?
No, I take it from in supplement powder form. Yeah.
Okay.
Bovine collagen type 1 and 3 is usually the one that I usually go for.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's...
So tell me, I mean, you cannot say this and skip it like very fast like this, saying that you cut sugar and cut carbs and just leave me alone here happy, and people are wondering. So I want to go back to this part. Yeah. What happened? Why did you notice that you needed to cut sugar? And everyone is saying sugar and carbs is the most important thing of life. Sugar is life. Yeah. Carbs is important. We cannot live without carbs. I mean, I know I'm living without carbs, but tell me about you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So again, we were opening a very interesting topic, and what I can say in these regards again is I've never really wanted to, and I've never really seen myself as wanted to cut completely on a specific family of foods. But at the same time, this discovery for me was huge because, again, back in my 20s when I used to eat, of course, everything, our bodies are just made in a different way. But having a different view on sugars, of course, and carbs is a huge shift in my mindset, because then you start realizing how many of the foods you're actually eating and you're buying have sugars, even though we do not think they have sugar in it. Yeah. So it does not come just on skipping the cheesecake after my meal or cutting the sugar in the coffee. It really comes down to, oh wow, I actually realized that the sushi I'm buying has sugar in it. The mustard I'm buying has sugar in it. The bread I buy has sugar in it, because again, it's also being used in the food industry for now decades, to improve the shelf life of the food. So it's and of course it creates addiction. So that's why the food industry is like, okay, let me actually. Yeah,
this is why people are so addicted to it, and they really try to refuse the fact that it's not important. And I am cutting it 100% from my side, but for what I want to prove to people is that you can live without it, and here I am living without it. But the idea is that to bring people as close as possible to where I am, cutting completely sugar and carbohydrates from your diet, and living and thriving, actually, not just living, and having people reduce the amount of carbohydrates, totally remove sugar, but reduce the amount of carbohydrates as much as possible, knowing that this is guilt. And so this is an interesting topic. But thank you very much for mentioning it. I never knew this, Thank you for saying it here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And
what's the benefits, What's the benefits that you noticed on yourself?
So again, when it goes to strictly cutting on to sugars and processed sugars, that's already the first improvement that I've seen in my skin tone and like literally skin elasticity, and again in my digestive system. Completely got rid of bloating and other other connected concerns. And when it comes to cutting on carbs, because again I'm not carnivore, but I am on a light type of keto diet. because again, I've seen that I am sensitive to gluten. So again, that's when it comes to, people, and specifically, especially nowadays, where somehow most of us actually more sensitive to gluten specifically.
Yeah.
So cutting on that has actually helped me to really reduce also the cravings for carbs in general. And I used to be a huge sweet tooth.
Yeah.
And the fact that then I realized, okay, wait, but actually most of the grains have gliadin, this protein in it that is the one that is almost acts as an opioid. And that is the one that gives us that feeling of wanting more. So, okay, yes, I'm eating carbs. And they say they have fibers. Perfect, amazing. It keeps me satiated. But then after half an hour, I'm actually more hungry. And I want them again because this protein in the grains, in the gluten, is the one responsible for creating this addition cycle.
Hunger, yeah.
So once we're able to kind of detoxify from this type of addition, which again takes some time, and especially at the beginning, we're gonna feel these opioid withdrawals. No, it's the same as a drug addiction.
Yeah.
Then after we get past these 7 days, 14 days, which depends on by person to person, but it's a huge difference.
Amazing, interesting. So this is how your story came to.
This is how my story came, exactly, how I dig much deeper into the whole study of nutrition and again, how I decided also to open my own snack company because again, snacking is fine and accepted if we are able to do it in the right way, which means again, no snacks that have sugars or carbs or gluten, but if they have good fats and good protein, they're fine. And we can find these sources in, nuts and seeds and superfoods.
Yeah. So talking about fat and oil and omega. So this is interesting. I mean, the meeting and the reason why we are sitting here and doing this podcast is basically on the matter that you told me about and the ratio between omega-3 and omega-6. Which was something new to me. Can you tell me a little bit more about this technology and what is the company?
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, this falls also to maybe kind of continue my own journey, my own story. This falls also into the category of, yes, I reduced my carb and sugar intake. That was my primary, interest in my 20s. But whilst doing that, I increased my fat intake, which was also a huge shift in my diet, but also in my usual belief that fats make you fat as opposed to...
So can you say it? Does fat really make you fat?
No, absolutely not. It hasn't.
This is another myth that people really, and even the people behind the cameras also are listening. It's good that they are here because I'm interested that they are listening to what we are talking here about. It's not just for the audience online. Fat doesn't make you fat.
No, absolutely. Cholesterol in foods does not raise the cholesterol in your body.
And we need cholesterol.
Exactly.
Our hormones are built with cholesterol.
Our brain
is built with cholesterol, yes.
So, yes. And that was, for me, a huge shift in my diet and actually makes me really feel good. So, when it comes to supplementing, again, I am a huge advocate of omega-3 fatty acids, because I really believe in their importance for cognitive function, again, brain development in kids, and support of our gut health, and so many other functions. Again, even just from a longevity perspective, there's really loads of studies. And again, omega-3s have been out there in the market for years, ages. Yeah. So it's not just a recent study. It's not a recent new product or the latest trend. And they have been associated not only with lowering the risk of cardiovascular diseases and cognitive decline-related diseases, but also to increase people's lifespan by 5 years as opposed to people that do not take omega-3 fatty acids. So it is a huge difference in number, like almost 5 years of your life can change if you're having the right type of fatty acids.
Yeah.
So this has always been a big belief for me. And when I met this company, Zinzino, which is now expanding here in the UAE, and the whole GCC, I was like, okay, what they're doing is really interesting, not only because they provide a blood test to analyze generally what the level of inflammation in our body is through this balance of omega-6 to 3.
Can you tell me the origin of the company? It's very important.
Yes, they're based in Norway, Oslo, so it's a Scandinavian company.
Okay, interesting.
And they have their lab there to analyze the blood tests coming from all over the world. It's a very new company. It's a very recent company. They've been out there in the market for the last 9-10 years. So their vision in terms of growing and impacting people's life is big. Like they're now rolling out many other type of products that can support, for example, gut health or killing the senescent cells in our body, so cleansing up the system from those so-called zombie cells. And the first product that they came out with is literally this combination of omega-3 fatty acids with the polyphenols of pre-harvest olive oil. Why is that? Because they have seen that by combining these two ingredients, the fatty acids have maximum absorption into our body, and they stay up to 35 hours as opposed to other normal oils, even just normal omega-3 or krill oil. They stay in the system from 5 to 6 hours, and then they oxidize, which means that our body is not completely absorbing all of them.
Interesting.
So it's a very interesting study that they again came up with, and the owner of the founder of the company managed to heal from leaky gut, and this is how then he came up with this solution, again through testing. There's a whole full team of scientists behind this company, and how they really did their R&D to really develop and launch the product. But again, it's how. Again, it started from a personal health condition and then developed into, okay, let's create something that can really help people. That, again, is not a drug, it's not a medicine, it's something natural, but it's just about, again, cleansing up all the noise of information also that we have out there, and say, okay, guys, like, what is it that we need in our daily nutrition? We need clean, healthy, high quality omega-3 fatty acids, because we are not having them enough in our food nowadays, because we eat a lot of processed foods. We eat a lot of again, foods that get transported from everywhere. So it has anyway a loss in nutrients. So even if we might say, okay, but I'm eating a lot of salmon every day. Yes, but again, also salmon is cleansed from the heavy metals in the cleaning process, same as omega-3 supplements.
Yeah, they're not also wild, they're more into ponds where they control their growth. Rapid growth,
farming. So again, so their nutrient density is anyway less than before. Same you can say for some fats, such as avocado. So they're generally less nutrient dense. And again, when they cleanse the fish from their heavy metals, it naturally loses its polyphenols. So this is why even the normal omega-3 on the market, they have less capacity of being absorbed in the body. And this is an official study they have conducted. They were like, okay, so how can we recreate the original type of, fish with polyphenols? Okay, we're gonna find the polyphenols from the olive oil and combine them together. And this is how, with official studies that they have shared, they have shown to be absorbed into the system and stay into the system for up to 35 hours. And no other oil can do that.
Okay.
And that's how...
What is the reason why they do the blood test? Is the portion which is going to be given to the person going to be customized, or is it fixed for everyone? I mean, what is the purpose of the blood test? Because usually when somebody wants to buy any supplement, they just walk into any pharmacy or any nutrition shop to take the supplements that they think they need and they think that they have to have. But this is something that I personally don't like, because what if I have enough, or what if I have deficiency in a certain product that I'm not buying, and I'm buying something which I have already enough of?
Yeah. So I think the blood test here in this case was more to really shed the light on the importance of enabling people to have an idea of what their situation, their current situation is, which most of us are not really doing nowadays. So they want to empower people and say, look, let's analyze first what the level of inflammation in your body is, number one, and how much you're able to absorb nutrients from foods. Because these are the two main things that they can see through this balance of omega-6 and 3. So they're like, okay, let's start from this level and understand how much of ongoing inflammation you might have, because we don't know, and people generally can say, okay, but I feel good, I'm doing everything, I'm eating healthy, I'm working out. But again, nowadays, with the research that they have done, and they have tested over 1 million worldwide, they have seen that 98% of the people worldwide have some level of inflammation going on. And again, foods, toxicity, higher exposure to stress. So with some level of inflammation. And now it's like, okay, let's understand first what your situation is and where you're starting from, and how much do you need it, because this is how you might develop chronic inflammation. So let us give you a view of your health before it develops into a more chronic condition, so that you can act on it in a natural way, for example, with this balance oil, as opposed to going into heavier treatment or actually treat a condition when it becomes really chronic and it shows the symptoms. And when symptoms come up, usually it's a developed condition.
Yeah. So the test, as I came to know, it's being sent back to the factory. So can you explain how does the blood stay safe during transportation from anywhere around the world? You mentioned something related to the dry blood test. Yeah.
So exactly, it's a very quick test. First of all, to do, everyone can literally get it there at the ease of their home, and this is why it's also dry blood testing is the future, generally speaking. And I've seen also other companies reaching out to me with the same type of approach, because again, it's democratizing health in the end. You know, it's instead of us having to go to the hospital, understand what's going on. It's like, okay, let me just take a quick blood test, 2 drops of bloods from my finger. Drop it on the paper. I send them. No need to discuss with doctors what's going on, and I can have a clear overview of what my situation is. The paper has to go into an envelope that is again water resistant, and then gets shipped back to Norway, and this can be done from anywhere in the world, because as of now the company works with most of the countries, and now again with the UAE as well, and then in 3 to 4 weeks you receive the results on your phone. And this is a very interesting point to say, okay, let us see from now where we're starting from and how much we can improve in just 2 to 4 months time. And again, have a proper vision, because I think when people see things on their own, they actually believe to it more.
Yeah, sure.
So this is interesting because it gives them a proper proof, and it's again not just placebo effect. And at the same time, this is how also this product has grown so far, I think.
It's interesting. I am interested in the topic very much, to the level that I have the link to order right now. And after this podcast, immediately I'm going to place my own kit order to see. As you know, it's been exactly now 10 months since I have been away from carbohydrates and sugar, fully carnivore. And to be honest, during this 10 months of carnivore, the amount of seafood or fish that I have had is probably 2 or 3 times only. I mostly...
A week?
No. in general.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, so that's why I'm really, really interested to see my results.
I'm also very interested.
Yeah, and knowing that Jennifer, who's a vegetarian, her results were all over the place.
Yes.
And she said that she is kind of pescatarian, which means that she is eating fish.
Yes.
But still, her readings were all over the place. So very, very.
She had a ratio, and then again, I don't want to say completely wrong number, but I think it was around 26-1, and we're supposed to have a ratio of 4-1.
Wow.
So it means that she's able to absorb only I think 30 or 40% of the foods she's eating, which again means there is clearly some level of inflammation around the cells, which are not able to absorb the nutrients, and this is how then the mitochondria.
I'm really excited. I can't wait for 3 weeks. I need the results now. So yeah, definitely, I'm going to do it because it's really it's a research that we're doing.
Yes.
We took the other extreme, Jennifer, who's vegetarian. True. Now I'm the other side of the extreme, which is fully carnivore. Fully carnivore, and it's been. I can easily say, for the past 7 or 8 months, I haven't had any sorts of fish. I almost fully rely on right now for the past 7 months. Red meat, cheese, and eggs.
Okay, cheese and eggs. Okay.
Yeah, that's the only.
And butter?
And butter, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we need to see the.
To know. Yeah. And honestly, I think it's an exciting time because I think it's interesting to start collecting some good data and feedbacks of people here in the UAE.
Exactly.
And we had this very interesting feedback already from Guillaume. He's the owner of a clinic. And literally started in, I think, January or beginning of February. And back then, he did also blood tests, and he had a very high cholesterol. It was just above 200 mg. And now, after 3 months' time, he went back, retested cholesterol, and it improved. I don't know now exactly the number, but it went completely below in this normal standard range. Okay. And he was not surprised. The doctor was more surprised because it's like, okay, how did you manage to reduce your cholesterol level in such a short amount of time just by taking a natural supplement?
Yeah.
And he's like completely. This is one of the first good positive cases that we've seen just in a short amount of time. And he had an eczema on the top of his head as well. And also that one in just 2 to 3 months' time is gone. And it's like I didn't change that much in my diet, whatever. But this is the only big thing that I know that I changed. And it's
what was
nice.
his reading before and after? Do you recall the readings, the ratio?
Yeah, so I mean, I remember that initially the cholesterol was above 200.
Not the cholesterol, the omega-6, omega-3.
Oh no, I don't know. I should actually, I should double check. I think again it was maybe slightly over 30, but I don't want to say 30-1, which is again, and it was definitely not a healthy ratio.
Absolutely.
And I think he also needs now to take the second test, because what is good to do is always to retest after 120 days if we are doing a cycle, because our blood naturally regenerates and refreshes every 120 days.
True.
So we want to wait those 3-4 months to then retest. I'm also close to my
second
retesting phase.
What was your initial test? I'm interested to know.
So what was here? It was 6.6 something to 1, which again is not bad,
not perfect,
but it's not perfect.
Yeah.
And I was hoping to be good to 4-1.
Yeah, I mean,
so
I can see the relationship between carbohydrate, sugar, and the diet that you're on right now.
Yes.
Probably is more the reason why you're having a lower ratio than the others compared. But yeah, I'm really excited. We have to do a second, third podcast probably to see my results. What is it, and then post taking the supplement, what is it going to be? And by the way, talking about cholesterol, my cholesterol is really high due to the diet that I'm on. It's only saturated fat and protein. So definitely the cholesterol has to go high. And we're talking about total cholesterol and LDL cholesterol, which currently is okay. I've talked to many advocates and doctors abroad who are saying that as long as you don't have any other issues with your readings, triglycerides or glucose readings or any other factors which are not being disturbed. And I'm pretty much really on the extreme of living extremely healthy. Like I sleep early, I wake up early, I don't smoke, I don't drink. My diet has been clean even before going on a carnivore diet. I was more of a paleo person, so very low carbs. Sugar, I've been away from sugar for the past probably 14 years now. Yeah, it's crazy. And so knowing that I have these factors of a healthy living lifestyle and the readings are also healthy. When I saw my cholesterol, I really wasn't surprised. And I did another test after 3 months from the beginning of the first 3 months, so 6 months later of my journey on carnivore, and the readings were the same. So this first readings, I went to see the doctor. The doctor was, you have to go on statins right now. We need to lower your cholesterol. I was like, take it easy. Let's see. I'll come back to you after 3 months. And then the same readings. So I discussed this with my father, who's a surgeon. He said, your cholesterol is good, even if it goes high. So there's a little bit of a controversial topic about cholesterol and how high. But then you need to look at the other factors and the lifestyle of the person in order to determine whether you need to lower the cholesterol or not. But it's interesting. I mean, yes, as numbers, it's scary, really scary, because when you see the red on the readings. So if this helps as a supplement, I'm interested, you know.
Exactly. I'm also very curious.
Yeah, I'm interested really to see because pretty much there's no source of omega-3, omega-6 that much. I mean, probably just the eggs that I'm having, maybe. Yeah,
exactly.
But apart from that, nothing.
Because you're not having any nuts.
Any nuts, no fish, no.
Exactly. That's what might be maybe a good thing to
It's a good case study. Yeah.
And
imagine my ratio would be perfect and I don't need anything.
Honestly, yes, exactly. You wouldn't need to change your diet if you're
I will use this opportunity to shout out like, here it is, there's this proof that you have for the whole carnivore. And everyone should be carnivore after that.
Exactly.
But I can't tell. I don't know. I have no idea unless we do the test and wait for the results. And let's see.
Amazing. Looking forward.
Yeah.
Good. Very, very happy to have started this type of conversation, really.
Yeah, me too. Thank you very much, Chiara. It was really a pleasure to have you on the podcast and to know you more. And thanks to Jennifer who introduced us. So hopefully, after I order the kit, I will do the test and we need to see each other again for sure.
Absolutely.
For follow-up.
Absolutely. Exactly.
Thank you, Chiara.
Thank you.